Hey everyone, welcome back to another mini lesson in our series on flamenco guitar. Today we're diving into the basic form, the foundational shapes that are the heart of traditional flamenco. Here's the thing, back in the day, in the earliest forms of flamenco, there was no sheet music, and there were no chord names like we're used to today. None of that. Back then, the guitar was first and foremost an accompaniment instrument. Falsettas and forget about solo playing came way later. But it's in those early forms that the core principles of flamenco guitar were laid down. The stuff that makes it totally unique from any other style. And those principles gave birth to the shapes we now call the traditional forms. We're talking about the E major form and A major form. But like I said, back in the day, they didn't call them that. They called them por arriba, up high, and por medio, in the middle. These two shapes are the foundation that the main styles and rhythms of flamenco were built on. Everything else grew out of them. So, for example, por arriba is where you play one of the cornerstones of flamenco, Soleá. And por medio, that opens the door to a ton of styles. You've got your tangos, Seguirillas. And of course, Bulerias. These days, Bulerías is probably the big one, the style you'll hear at pretty much every flamenco gig out there. Now here's where it gets interesting. These two shapes, por arriba and por medio, they often bleed into each other. Take Seguiriya, for instance. You can play it not in por medio, but in por arriba. And when you do that, you get a different form. Traditionally, that's called liviana. Check this out. Even though the rhythmic and harmonic patterns are basically the same, the vibe totally shifts. Seguiriya is already heaven said, right? But Liviana with its slower register sounds straight up tragic. And you can also play Bulerias por arriba. Here's the cool twist. If you're playing por arriba but you hit an A minor as your second chord, congrats, you've just stepped into fandango territory. There are tons of variations of fandango, but that minor chord of the two, that's usually your tell. Beyond this, there are other, more modern fingering shapes. For example, if we shift the chord progression a little and go from E major to B major, we land on another huge style, Alegrías. There's also a shape in C that harmonically mirrors Alegrías. It's called cantinas. Honestly, just by getting comfortable with this basic form and practicing a bit, you start to recognize the main flamenco styles by ear. Sure, there are way more out there. Farruca. Verdiales. Colombianas. Peteneras. And of course, everybody's favorite rumba flamenca. Literally dozens of others. But if you're learning flamenco guitar, the essential, foundational styles to dig into are the ones we just checked out. Solea, Seguiriya, Bulería, Tangos, and Alegría. Now, let me be clear. There are other styles that use different positions. We're talking Taranta, Minera, Granaína, stuff like that. But that's a whole other rabbit hole for the next video. Lots of cool stuff to cover there. One quick thing to notice. In classical guitar, we usually go for full barré chords. But in flamenco, we often leave the open string ringing, like if we're playing F major, G major, or A minor. You hear that if we grab an F major chord, but leave those top strings open, it's thicker, it's richer. Just beautiful. In modern flamenco, of course, there are even more fingering shapes out there. Then a new shape shows up, and this is just a loose name for it, that we could call por abajo. Super informal, but you get the idea. So you're playing from D, and so on. innovators, the great flamenco guitarists we all know and love. They brought so much beauty and so many new ideas to the table. No question. But without a solid grasp of the basics, without understanding this core fingering position, you're going to have a tough time navigating all that. But if you've got those fundamentals down, then you've got a launching pad, a place to take that first step, and from there you know where you're going. Oh, and one more thing before I forget. Traditional flamenco is built around what's called the Andalusian cadence. Check it out. Even just strumming those chords, anyone listening would be like, yep, that's got the Spanish flower. No matter how you play it, you can't miss that Spanish vibe. And you can do the same thing starting from other position too. Or once you're comfortable with these positions, you're ready to dive into the real nitty-gritty, the different styles, the passages, all those little nuances I'm hoping to cover down the road. Anyway, I hope this shed a little light on where flamenco starts. Grab your guitar and try these shapes out for yourself. And seriously, drop a comment and let me know what you think. If you want to go deeper into these forms and styles, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next lessons. So that's all for now. Thanks guys. See you next time.